Let's start with the bourse. On the list of gainers, we're looking at Standard Group. And we know that the results came out and it showed the stock lost about 21% of fall in profits. So how exactly did it show gains today on the bourse?
Thank you, Foxy. Perhaps one thing that is coming out is investors had two things. One, either expected the Standard Group to perform much worse than it did, or two, they had already factored in the poor results into the price. And shortly after announcing the results, the prices corrected itself.
Well, once again, will banks like NIC, Barclays, KCB on the list of losers? Why?
Perhaps one thing the viewers need to know, in the past 2 weeks, there has been an avalanche of reporting, financial reporting in the newspapers and in the media, largely by stockbrokers, investment banks and fund managers. Most of them reported losses or a decline in profits. And this, I believe, fed into the negative feeling we have with financial institutions. Most investment banks, most stockbrokers recorded decline in revenues and hence decline in net profits. And I think that tended to rub on to the financial stocks.
And what's the market expectation for this week?
The following week is a little bit difficult as well. We saw Mumia's report, decline in sugar processes. However, due to the cogeneration of electricity, it was able to report a modest increase in profits, and it has reflected in the share price. We still expect that perhaps the index will touch 3,000 in the coming week.
All right, let's take a look at Kenya's economy. Kenya's central bank says that in the fourth quarter it sees growth picking up. Where exactly is this growth coming from?
Interesting to note at this point is the government has begun the infrastructure projects. One of the major highways in the Kenya, the Thika Road, has begun. We also see that government has initiated projects like afforestation and labor-intensive projects, which will see employment go up. Because of this, it will increase people purchasing power, and perhaps we expect to see modest growth in GDP. Also, in agriculture, the government has focused a lot in agriculture, especially in irrigation. Today, Kenyan came out with the infrastructure bond for energy. So all these projects go on to feed into the expected growth in GDP.
Liquidity is still of concern on the bourse as well as in the economy. So what is the government doing exactly to ease this liquidity concern?
Each week, the government often comes and injects liquidity. Like last week, they came and injected about 12 billion shillings into the market through reverse repos to ease liquidity. It has to be, viewers have to note, for example, last week was the deadline for corporate tax payment to central bank, and hence we believe the tax obligation drained the banks significantly, hence the need for intervention by central bank.
And what's the outlook for inflation, just before we go?
Inflation is expected to continue in the same trend. It will perhaps remain flat, driven mostly by the fuel cost, the price of the oil barrel, the food cost. Nothing much has changed for now. We have the meteorological department has estimated that in the coming month we expect a mild El Nino. So perhaps going forward we expect food prices to decline.